What up, Hong Hong, Randy? Neo Dark Matter, where's the protest? It is in Bakersfield, California, outside of this Bernie Sanders event. Hong Hong, Frank. We also have Biden about to be coming up to give a speech at a disabled convention. Hong Hong, sat back, Chunka. Yeah, Blaine, where you at? Blaine, everyone wants to see you out at the protest in your suit. With your luscious hair. Etc. Biden's still alive? Allegedly. Allegedly. We'll see. Hong Hong named it. Here, Dark Matter. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the protest. Hey, they have a drum. They've got a drum. They have some signs and a flag. It's a protest, right? Hong Hong, low Q. Frank, the glorious drum beats of resistance.
You need attention too, is that why you jump in here?
No, I actually work in TV, bitch. Fuck you.
Where's you got a face for radio though? How do you work in TV if you got a face?
Worthless ass bitch.
Yeah, you need to listen to RFK Jr. on that healthy eating.
Yeah, you need to go fuck your mother.
Why are you so interested in people having sex with their mom? Are you a pervert? Are you a groomer? Yeah, are you one of the groomers?
Dude, I fuck all night long, baby.
Yeah, please make me.
I fuck all night long.
You fuck your mom all night long, or what?
You're an angry
Huh?
man. I'm not an angry man. He's telling me to fuck my mom. Is that appropriate? Are you okay with that? Are you okay?
He's like, oh, that's fine, but you're being an asshole.
He interjected his fat ass into our conversation. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He interjected his...
If that happened, then I understand why you would be angry.
That's the only reason I even talked to him.
You're brave.
I am. You know why? Because...
What's going on here?
Blaine, yep, this is definitely Bakersfield. Do you know any of these people, Blaine? Hong Hong, honging rebel. Yeah, good point, Will.
The whole alphabet.
Oh, look, a protester in the crowd. Protester getting kicked out. So these protesters back here are outside of this Bernie event. Bernie wants to fight the oligarchy, and these protesters want a free Palestine. There's a lot going on here.
understand. 99% is a hell of a bigger number than 1%.
too many people. Blackbar, isn't Bernie part of the oligarchy? Yes. He's been screaming about the oligarchy since the early 90s. Meanwhile, he just keeps getting richer and richer and richer. And he's been in government that whole time. Like, how long has Bernie Sanders been in government? He was elected mayor of Burlington in 1981. He was elected U.S. House of Representatives in 1990.
This only got paid for 2 hours.
So he's been in government for like over 40 years, screaming about the coming oligarchy the entire time, while just gets richer and richer and richer. I guess his speech is over, so. Lane, I'm not sure these people will even still be here by the time you get out there.
There's not even more following,
I agree.
to be honest. I think we'll go get the car. Go get the car.
They were only paid up till 3 o'clock. They're on the clock for 12 more minutes.
We were in there, and it's an alternate universe. I'm telling you, alternate universe.
You know something else too I was thinking about? You know the people that were signing? It
All right, bro.
From time to time, they were going, look at this.
Yeah,
Like this.
yeah, yeah.
You got rid of the Tesla?
Fuck Donald Trump.
You got rid of the Tesla?
Fuck Donald Trump.
You got rid of that Tesla? I really don't like Trump.
Oh my god, they're playing the same old songs from 2016.
He's your president.
They can't get anything new. They think it's 2016 and all this shit still works.
You worried about that well?
Yeah, they can't try. Oh my god, it's a word.
Fuck you, racist. Fuck your problem.
Racist?
Yeah. Fuck Donald Trump.
How am I racist?
Fuck Donald Trump.
Must be going to block a highway. I don't even know if there's enough of them to block a highway. I don't know. Some of them are kind of big though. Maybe.
Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
She could block a highway.
Could you imagine a president controlling
Donald
every minute of your life like this?
Fuck Donald Trump.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out to the vehicle and follow them to the park.
This is the one that drove
La migra.
saving money on gas by driving his Tesla.
Hey, I got it before you went crazy. To be fair. Fuck Donald Trump. Woo!
We're the people of this country. We got to we'll be seen, we will be heard.
Where you work at? Down M Street. Where's that one? Down here.
Adam, not really a Bernie Biden speech. Bernie Sanders was just giving a speech in Bakersfield, and there's a protest outside of it. Biden is also set to be giving a speech shortly at a disabled convention in Chicago. Separate things. Biden, Bernie, 2028. Fuck it. Bernie AOC, 2028. Let's go. Put him on the ticket.
I love him. Love the one in the White House.
Hey Harris, at least Biden's in the right place. Yeah. Earlier today when I streamed, someone, I don't forget who, someone was like, well, he is an expert on the disabled. So it's good that he's the keynote speaker there. It makes sense. It really does.
Slave form, you got me appreciating Obama way more. Hey Donald, and everyone that follows, you gave us your reason to be president, but we hate so. Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump. I don't like your way. Fuck Donald Trump.
He's giving the speech at a conference for advocates, counselors, and representatives for the disabled. He's the keynote speaker. When I think of the disabled, my first thought goes to Joe Biden. It makes sense.
Bakersfield's on the lookout.
Groomer alert. Wow. Damn.
Oh man, you better get going, bro.
Scott Hochstetter.
Have you graduated yet? That's what I got.
Audio head. Biden's only there because they can't run away from him.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Okay. Do they think anyone cares about this music?
Another one?
Hey, you want to go grab it now?
Snack, no Janny swept your comment.
To be honest,
Alright, well, I hit you up later.
YouTube is homo.
Oh, I'll drive by there real quick. See what they're gonna do.
Frank, what did the sticker under the pedo poster say?
The crazy part is that his girlfriend or whatever she is, she's pregnant. And he has her following him around.
Right? Hey babe, I've got a really great date idea.
No more crappy music. He follow Oreo.
Yeah, are we sure she was pregnant? I don't know.
Well, I haven't had breakfast and I'm in town, so I hardly spend time with my wife. So since it's my day off today,
You know,
I'm
better
going
worse,
and
they
have
sold
lunch.
the kid
Before
for
I
that
have breakfast,
speaker.
I'll have lunch with her.
It's possible. It's possible.
So take advantage of she's home. I'll be home. We'll eat together.
I think Biden was supposed to speak at
No, it's on the
like
go,
10
go,
minutes
go,
ago,
go,
but
go.
maybe he's a no-show. I mean, they can't feel good about asking him to speak so late, right?
But before we cut off, I'm gonna head over to the park where those terrorist supporters.
Where the terrorist supporters are. Okay, okay.
To take advantage of my wife. Man, you guys hear different stuff.
What? There's got a caption that says select. Select 2 objects. Okay, I'm retarded. I thought it said select 3 objects that are the same shape, and I'm like, there aren't 3.
All right. Once we get back in the vehicle, and start looking online to see if anything's happening in the LA area. It's cloudy here, but very hot and humid. Thank you, babe. I
That's not Biden. Biden got a lot younger.
One second, guys. I'm gonna mute real quick.
Snack, it cost you $200 to figure out your cat just really had to pee. Why wouldn't your cat pee? Fight fascism. Brian Mast Town Hall. Punished. Everywhere in California looks shitty except maybe Las Vegas. Las Vegas isn't in California. So that's even funnier.
Over there.
Who the fuck is Brian Mast? Why do I care?
I'm afraid if my picture is here on something, that somebody will come to my house tonight.
U.S. representative from Florida.
So when this Congress can stand up and
Yep, that's right.
I guess Democrats are mad at Brian Mast.
the Supreme Court won't.
President Trump is anything but a dictator.
Oh, boo! Liar! Liar! Liar!
Hey, Trump is such a dictator. That's why we're able to sit here at this town hall and scream at you.
Liar and a traitor! Liar and a traitor!
I can see Democrats are still taking losing the election well.
You don't have a microphone, but I'm happy to hear from whoever does.
Screech, screech, yo! Deploribus Rex, good to see you!
We have
Hung, hung, hung!
for your service. For almost 100 years, the United States has stood as a symbol of free enterprise and a country that has stood up for the rights of citizens and people all over the world. In particular, I'm disturbed over our posture, our current posture towards Russia. And the first question, I have two questions. The first question is, do you think that Russia is a friend of the United States? No. And what is your position on Russia attempting to take over Ukraine by force?
So a couple of things on that. It's a great conversation to have, and obviously very much in my wheelhouse as foreign affairs chair. So number one, Russia is an enemy of the United States of America, no friend to the United States of America.
Named it.
Really some absolutely really positive.
I think he lost both legs.
Let's be very specific about this. And President Trump gets all of the credit for these things that I'm going to stop. Let's be very specific.
Brian Mast.
So up to this point, even in the moment as we speak, Europe, EU is still giving more dollars to Russia in terms of the oil and gas that they are buying from Russia than what they are giving to Ukraine in terms of support to fight Ukraine in this war. That's an important thing. President Trump talked in the first administration about why do we have NATO that we're paying all this money into to protect Europe from Soviet expansion, not Russian expansion. If you're just going to be in debt with Russia and get all of your energy and oil from gas from them, it doesn't make any sense. So you see Europe still putting more money into Russia right now than what they're taking. Now, for the last 3 years of this war, Europe could have stepped up in a number
Hey
of
Davis,
different
you're out of
ways.
your
In some
coma.
places they are.
Good to see
Many
you.
of these
You have not
European
missed
countries
Biden
like
yet.
Poland, as an
You
example,
haven't really missed
right on
much
the
of
border,
anything
brought
except
their
for
percentage of
some
defense
screaming
in
liberals
terms
in
of GDP
Bakersfield
up to 4%,
and now some
that's
screaming
2%.
liberals in Florida. Are we? Oh, look, he found them at the park here in Bakersfield.
Let me see if anything's happening in the LA area.
Copy. 47-year-old female. To Memorial.
I guess he's just gonna film them from afar here.
The $500 billion in defense funds specifically to combat what's going on in Russia. And the point that I'm making is all of these countries, they could have done it last year, the year before, 3 years ago. They didn't do it because they were happy to let the United States of America pay for this. And now we have Europe finally stepping up and doing what they need to do to protect their own backyard. I'm very happy to see that.
Morning protest. Me and Josh were just talking about that.
Exactly.
Drawdown authority where they take old weapons from us or other countries that takes place.
Everybody's done it, just to be honest.
What did you just call it? John, look at those freedom fighters. Yes. This group of elite forces will take down the country and take over.
Okay, here's the update for this morning. On April 15, 2025, at approximately 9 a.m., Kern County Sheriff's Office deputies assigned to the Metro Patrol were dispatched to the right on South H Street and Ming Avenue for a report of theft in progress. Upon arrival, deputies located a subject matching the description.
This is the Florida liberal.
Thank you so much for joining the live. You saw all the lies, the bullshit that were going on in there. Brian Mast couldn't tell the truth to save his life. There was lots of gaslighting. At least he got a lot of booze. Again, thank you everybody for joining me. I left a little early.
As you can see, everything that man said was a lie. And everything I say is 100% true.
Church.
There you have it. I have proven it now.
But guys, thank you so much for joining the live. I'm going to head home and get out of here. So, bye guys.
And the suspect, Jeremy Pletcher, so here's the suspect's name, guy. Jeremy Pletcher, age 34, surrendered and was arrested near the intersection of Benton Street and Mark Court for exhibiting a firearm at a peace officer. Oh, so he did not shoot at officers. Officers shot at him. But he did flash, or he did exhibit the firearm towards the peace officers. Assault. No, wait. No, he did shoot at him. Exhibiting the firearm at a peace officer, attempted murder of a peace, so he did shoot at him.
Present our Beacon of Hope Award to our keynote speaker and the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, you're about to speak for the first time since, I don't know, when's the last time Joe Biden gave a speech?
As soon as he was elected, President Biden quickly and decisively led our
John,
country
this one
out
can
of
read
the
a little
pandemic
bit,
and
yeah.
into the strongest economic recovery of any country in the developed world, creating 16 million jobs in just 4 years, more than any other president in American history.
Are they still on all this bullshit? I swear, Democrats think they're still running for president against Donald Trump. They haven't dropped any of the rhetoric from 2016 or 2020. It's like they're all in complete denial that an election even happened, which is fine with me, but it's a little cuckoo, even for the loony liberals.
CHIPS Act. He made the biggest investments ever to combat climate change. And President Biden took on Big Pharma and won, reducing prescription drug costs for tens of millions of Americans.
He did? Did anyone's prescription costs go down?
In fact,
anywhere?
President Biden built such a strong economy.
I don't take
that
pills.
It has taken a great act
so
of
all you
economic
pillheads are gonna have to let me know.
self-sabotage to hurt it. But all of you here,
Jay, say we buy the lie this time. What does that do for Biden? Right?
Representatives know better than most that on a deeper level,
once sheep, always sheep. So true. So true.
Or as a senator, or as president of the United States, Joe Biden has always fought for the dignity of every person. Perhaps that's why Social Security has always been at the forefront of Joe Biden's mind, and why his defense of Social Security has always come from the bottom
of his
Irish-American
I assume
heart.
that's Joe Biden's fault.
The dignity of every person, the dignity of work, the dignity of every child's home,
prescribed nicotine
the dignity
went
of
up.
a compassionate and caring people who would freely choose to heal the sick.
I guess that's true.
To feed the hungry.
My prescription for Miller
to
Lite
care for
went way up.
Widows and
Bullshit.
orphans. For those in the dawn of life and those in the dusk of life. Every soul. For 90 years, without ever missing a monthly benefit payment, this has been the mission of the Social Security Administration of the United States and of America. And yet, when the president asked me to lead the agency, it was not because things were going well. In fact, customer service was in a sharp decline. Wait times were going up. Every line.
Grammy, he should be on after this guy, who I think is governor.
Insurance company. And they were going in the wrong direction.
The timeline said between
you see, over the prior 7
4:45
Congress had reduced staffing at the agency to a 50-year low,
6
even as
p.m.
baby boomers
Central.
of my generation swelled the ranks to a new all-time high every day. But thanks to President Biden's leadership and support, the hardworking men and women of Social Security in just 1 year turned around almost every single service metric in delivering for the American people, and they got the agency moving in a much better.
Maybe we can start working on the website. I'm looking, guys, online to see if anything's happening in LA. Wharf. This is Central Park, Jan. Central Park.
Cory Booker is considering making a trip to El Salvador to demand the release of an illegal alien prisoner. You know what? I'm fine with him going to El Salvador.
Is defying a court order. Do you think the Trump administration is defying a court order?
It certainly appears that they are, and they're trying to play too cute with.
Too cute? Too cute? How can a court order Donald Trump to release an El Salvadorian prisoner? Explain that to me.
With parsing words. The court has ordered the return of this person and that the Trump administration should do it. They're paying an authoritarian leader in El Salvador to hold people in the worst imaginable types of prisons that he has sent there without any due process. And this isn't just about Mr. Garcia. This is about every American understanding that this president is making an assault on the due process rights that are afforded to people in our country. everybody from Anton Scalia to other conservative think tanks have said very clearly, you cannot disappear people off American streets. We are a nation of rules, and due process is clearly one of them. And to erode the due process...
You very much are allowed to deport illegal aliens back to their home country. Very much allowed.
Rights of anyone is a threat to the due process rights of everyone. This is a democratic slippage, and we all should be speaking out against it.
Saying they're going to shut ports down today, and I haven't seen nothing. It's 3 p.m. local time already, Pacific Standard Time. I'm looking everywhere right now on my mysterious account where I follow all this craziness.
Russia's mysterious doomsday radio station UVB-76 has just broadcast 4 cryptic messages in the span of 24 hours. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. This is a table.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So
show the crowd. They didn't turn the music off.
Who deserve help and pay for most of it.
Huh?
You know, my great friend, he is a great friend, Governor O'Malley. He, my dad, the Biden family started off in Baltimore. They don't say Baltimore, it's Baltimore. In Baltimore. And,
no one says Baltimore.
And I just want to say at the outset, if you ever want anybody on your team, whether it's an athletic team,
it's Bumblemore.
Team, or there's a team just trying to help. You want O'Malley. The guy has guts. No, I mean this sincerely. He not only has political courage, has physical courage.
Biden sounds bad.
He's across the board. If ever want anybody standing next to me, I want O'Malley there with me. And I mean that sincerely. It really matters. You know, I always kid Maryland because Delaware, the second smallest state, we share the eastern shore of Maryland with Maryland. But we're close friends. And folks, you know, it's no surprise that he did a hell of a job when I asked him to be commissioner of the Social Security. And the reason I did that is not an ordinary transition for a governor. But I knew, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I knew we needed someone with some guts, some toughness, who'd fight for every single penny that it needed, that would try to restore the integrity of the system. And to everyone here today, I want to thank you, all of you, very much for this award. It means a great deal to me coming from you. And I mean that sincerely. It means a great deal. You're in the front lines every single day. You're helping, you're advocating for your fellow Americans, Americans with disability. It's a big deal. We talk about what happened in the physical side of it if we didn't have Social Security. Think of what the psychic calm gives so many people who just don't know where to go, don't know how to traverse what needs to be done, or alone.
He looks
Last
yellow,
fall,
honorable
White
member.
House lawn, we celebrate the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. As a United States Senator 400 years ago, I was looking back on it. God,
I don't think he's getting an
50
award.
years. He's held turning 40 years old. Anyway.
He's just
But
the
back
keynote
in,
speaker here.
The year 1990, I was the co-sponsor of the Americans with Disabilities Act as a United States Senator. In my view, and I suspect many of you, It was one of the most consequential civil rights laws in American history. That's what got me involved in politics in the first place. Delaware, like Maryland, was one of those states, was a slave state.
Delaware to Maryland?
What was going on back in the day? We were one of those states that still, I remember moving from Scranton, Pennsylvania down to Wilmington, Delaware, and Cole died. My dad moved back to where he could get a job.
Isn't this in
I
Chicago?
pulled into, my mom would drive us on the Philadelphia Pike connecting Wilmington and Philadelphia. And we lived in an apartment complex.
Yeah, this is
she'd drive
in
us
Chicago. What is he talking about?
A mile to Holy Rosary School in Claremont. But it was so dangerous, she wouldn't let us walk up because of access road. I remember pulling into the parking lot, and I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. They never turned right to go to Claremont High School.
Did he say colored kids?
Asked my mom. Why? So in Delaware, they're not allowed to go to school, in public school, with white kids, honey. That sparked my sense of outrage as a kid, just like it does. I mean, and these young kids right here can tell you things affect them when they learn about something that's really just unfair and unjust.
Huh?
You know, my dad was an honorable man. And my dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, your job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's what you're all about. That's what the legislation is about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity.
What?
Everyone.
He's getting angry.
Regardless of their standing, regardless of economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. That's what it's about. I mean it. Dignity at work.
I'm so confused what this is and what it's about.
In every corner of American life, laws like the ADA need advocates like you. You're the ones that keep it going, God love you. You fight like hell every single day to make sure the law is respected and your clients' rights are protected. So from the bottom of my heart, I mean this. I give you my word as a Biden. From the bottom of my heart.
Oh, your word as a Biden means so much.
Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your commitment to the dignity of all Americans. Because that's what ultimately this is about. Folks, today I want to talk to you about an issue that's front and center right now for millions of Americans. Social Security. You know, some of you may know the Democrats have declared today the Save Social Security National Action Day. National Day of Action, I should say.
Yeah, today's tax
day. You know
day.
just how much Social Security matters to people.
That's what real Americans know today as.
Everyone in this room fights for people with disabilities who rely on Social Security to survive. To survive. Not just the physical side, it's the mental side. It's the mental side. You make sure folks get the benefits they earn after a lifetime of hard work. The work they do is more than just a profession, what you do, it's a calling. It's not just a profession. And Social Security is more than a government program. It's a sacred promise. We made it today, a sacred promise. 73 million Americans receive Social Security. From their first paycheck for their entire life, they pay into Social Security. And in return, they count on Social Security to be for them when they're going to need it. Folks, must never ever betray that trust or turn our backs on that obligation. That's why during my presidency, we protected Social Security and made it stronger. Martin, the governor can tell you. We came into office, Social Security Administration had its lowest staffing, she referenced it, lowest staffing levels in 50 years. And demand was going through the roof because of my generation and the baby boom generation, reaching the retirement age. So the demands on Social Security increased significantly. Our administration secured nearly $2 billion to reduce the backlogs and improve customer service.
The what logs?
We slashed wait times for folks in need. We're calling the 1-800 number. We got it down to under 13 minutes. It used to be 3 times that long when we took office. Made it easier for people to get help with their claims online. Reduced how long it takes to review a case. We fixed the appeal system to make it uniform in all 50 states, which made a difference. We strengthened the anti-fraud measures to protect people's identities.
St. Floyd's Banana. Who thought it was a good idea to trot out this walking corpse? I don't know. The Democratic Party is in shambles. They have no clue what to do.
I like to figure out how they live out.
Thank you for the super chat.
It's a hell of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity.
Hell of a thing, man.
Because it's hell when you turn 40 years old.
Oh, I'm only 40. Dies on stage.
We left office, we had improved every single line of customer service, from applying for disability to filing an appeal to reporting fraud. It all became more efficient and more effective. And I'll bet it made your jobs easier, too, in the process. Now, these achievements,
Young Sneed, this is a proof of life stunt.
so glamorous to most people.
Yeah, people have been wondering if he was still alive.
Absolutely essential. In my view, one of the most important jobs of any
Zombie,
elected official.
Bernie was giving a speech, and then there was Free Palestine protesters outside the speech. They weren't really protesting Bernie per se, but
And then we keep our promises to the people, to all the people. That's exactly what we did, thanks to all of you. I also signed into law the Social Security Fairness Act. That act eliminated 2 unfair rules, so public employees wouldn't get shortchanged. The government pension offset and the windfall elimination provision can never come in ever again. But as a result, more than 2 million people are now finally receiving the full benefits they earn. And remember, we also faced a constant threat by some members, Republican members of the Congress, to cut and gut Social Security, period. Cut and gut it, period. They wanted to let Social Security expire every 5 years. That was the proposal. Let it expire every 5 years unless reauthorized by the Congress. Who in the hell do they think they are? Every 5 years and then wait around and be...
What? What?
I will not go further or get in trouble, but... look,
were you going to punch someone?
Can you imagine the chaos?
Or did you just forget what you were going to
Every
say?
5 years, Congress
and
can
that's...
step up. Imagine this Congress stepping up.
I mean, Social Security will run out of money at some point, and then guess what? It's over.
That might not be a hardship for someone working in a comfortable job. But if you're on your feet all day, you're doing manual labor all day, you're working with a disability, it's a very different matter. And then they even tried to face cuts, force cuts on Social Security during the negotiation of the debt ceiling. These are wonderful guys. Last time this guy had the job, he raised the debt ceiling because of an enormous and profligate tax cut to the super wealthy. And then he said, look, then they started talking to his colleagues. Well, maybe we can do something about Social Security, but we got to do something about the debt ceiling. How are we going to where do we find the money in Social Security? Unless we do what they wanted to cut Social Security. Not on my watch. We refuse to go along with any of that. Look, Americans have always been able to count on these benefits. And let me pause a second here and say this. We talk about the physical needs that Social Security provides for people, particularly hardworking people, people retired, people on the edge. But the psychological impact.
Banana, he looks genuinely senile now.
Profound.
I mean, we've seen him worse, in my opinion. He looks about as bad as he has for the last year or so, to me.
Good shape.
They've clearly
They have a disability.
shot him up with something to give him a little spunk.
Here.
He came out with all sorts of energy, and it dwindled quick.
How do you sleep at night?
But yeah, like, what's the point of any of this?
We lived up in Wilmington in a 3-bedroom, split-level home in a new development, 40 homes.
Right?
With
Yeah.
4 kids and a grandpa.
No face. It's not your watch anymore, Joe. He doesn't know he's not POTUS anymore.
Our
He
bed
might not.
was near
He
my
might still
dad.
think this is part of the
Mom's
campaign. Who
You
knows?
could tell when Dad was restless. I remember asking one night my mom, "What's the matter with Dad?" The next morning, she just found out that that we're not going to provide insurance anymore where he works. Well, imagine if you're somebody who's been struggling your whole life. You're literally counting on Social Security to buy your food, just to get by. And you hear the threats about what may happen. Many of these beneficiaries, that's their only income. If they were cut or taken away, it'd be devastating. Devastating for millions of people. And the psychological pressure we put people under by having this debate is absolutely devastating. That's why we work so
that's a good
damn hard
question,
to make
Snack. How much
Social
is he
Security
getting paid?
stronger than they've been in years. And that's why I asked the governor to take over.
Biden's must need some money.
But look what's happened now.
The Hunter slush fund is running out.
Fewer than 100 days, this new administration has made done so much damage and so much destruction.
Like what?
It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon. They've taken a hatchet to the Social Security Administration, pushing an additional 7,000 employees, 7,000 out the door in that time, including the most seasoned career officials. Now they're getting ready to push thousands more out the door. Already we can see the effects. For example, thousands of people use the Social Security website every single day to check on their benefits and submit their claims. But now, the technology division of the Social Security Administration has been cut in half. And so the website's crashing. People can't sign on to their accounts. What do you think it does to that woman's living alone at 74 years checking, just not able to even find out whether she can't even find out what that disability claim is she had. She can't file a new disability claim. And a lot of these people are being told incorrectly that their benefits have ended. Folks, imagine the panic that causes.
Just stand up here and make up
You're
stories.
a retiree living alone, with only Social Security to depend upon.
Oh my God.
So
One
now
poor
people
woman struggled to figure
overrunning
out
the phone lines.
the bureaucracy of the
They're showing
government.
up at the local Social
We
Security
must
office,
raise taxes on everybody.
tearful and frantic, and told, "Do you have an appointment?"
Jesus.
In that tone, by the way, I can give you a personal example.
He's doing voices now, guys. Man of low
The
moral
capital
fiber. Most senior
City people
officials,
are now generally
meaning
considered
decades-long
for the first
tenured
time in
affirmative
history-
action hires who can barely read.
For the first and
Yes.
only time in history
Exactly.
that Social Security benefits may be delayed or interrupted. Folks, let's put this in perspective. In the 90 years since Franklin Roosevelt created the Social Security system,
What?
people have always gotten their Social Security checks. They've
Well,
gotten
won't
them
someone
during
please
wartime,
think of the unemployed, useless
during
bureaucrats?
recessions,
Oh, for the love
through
of
the
God.
pandemic, no matter what, they got them. But now, for the first time ever, that might change. It would be calamity for millions of families, millions of people.
Oh yeah, Bob. Trump will reply to this.
current Secretary of
Maybe
Commerce doesn't seem to
Trump
care.
might not reply to this though.
Or based on his comments, he doesn't
How
seem
many
to
people are
even
even
care.
watching this?
Many of you saw what he said the other day. And by the way, he's a billionaire. God love him, as my mother would say. Paying 8.5% in taxes. Anyway.
I mean, there's only 3,000 people watching
Billionaires
this
don't
on
like
this, and I think there were only one or two. There
When
was
we
like
talked about the
two
possibility of
streams up
Social
there, so I don't know how many
Security
people are watching the other one.
Not going out.
But I bet
this
it's not that many.
He shrugged it off. Here's what he said.
Chef Johnson, Biden
He
is
said
not dead
his
somehow.
94-year-old mother-in-law wouldn't complain.
No face.
Wouldn't
I
bother
hear
her.
Gladys in
Probably
Cincinnati
not a woman.
forgot her social security
Okay.
website password.
son
Now do you
was doing
regret voting for Trump, huh?
What about that
Oh, so badly.
94-year-old mother? living all
Bananas,
by
yes.
herself?
Social security. Social
Billionaire.
scarcity.
All the retirees who depend on that monthly check to feed themselves. All those people with disabilities have no other source. What about all those people? That's who you fight for. So they should desperately need you. Folks, it's not just the Secretary of Commerce. We heard how others, empowered and emboldened by this administration, talk about Social Security. One of them called it a Ponzi scheme.
I mean,
Ponzi scheme?
let's see here.
What the hell are they talking about?
People have to pay in
People earn these
more
benefits.
than people are taking out.
They paid into that benefit. They're relying on that benefit. And no one should take it away. You know, Franklin Roosevelt had a different view. He was president coming out of the Great Depression.
Yeah, hong that hong
He
button,
was
everybody.
Saw great suffering, so much poverty. He also took steps to raise standard of living for ordinary Americans, including creating.
New Dark Matter.
Social
Sounds like
Security.
Mr. Beast fans will be rioting in Vegas
himself
soon.
was from a
What's
very
up with that? I
wealthy
saw a live about that earlier.
He didn't need
What's
Social
going on
Security,
with that?
But understood how much it would mean.
I didn't have time to watch it and figure out what the hell was going on.
He knew it would make America stronger in the process. And it has. Makes our economy stronger. Makes the community stronger. It makes families stronger. Gives peace of mind. That's why the vast majority of Americans, including many wealthy Americans, still support, thank God, Social Security. And very wealthy billionaires still support Social Security. They may not rely on themselves, but they know. They know. Social Security deserves to be protected for the good of the nation as a whole. You really got to ask yourself, why is this happening? Why are these guys taking aim at Social Security now? Well, they're following that old line from tech startups. The quote is, move fast, break things. Well, they're certainly breaking things. They're shooting first and aiming later. And as a result, the result is a lot of needless pain and sleepless nights. My friend Governor O'Malley knows what they're really up to. He says, and I love his quote, they want to wreck it so they can rob it. They want to wreck it so they can rob
It's
it.
actually kind of a long speech for Biden.
And why do they want to rob it? In order to deliver
No
huge
face.
tax cuts
Thank
to
you
billionaires
for
and
the
big
monthly
corporations and keep it
check to
going.
feed myself.
They
You
wanted to
are
make
so
permanent the
virtuous.
2017
And
tax
don't
cuts,
forget,
which overwhelmingly
Brave.
benefited the wealthiest Americans and the biggest corporations. That's going to cost $5 trillion. Where are they going to get $5 trillion to pay for it? Other than continue to run the deficit up. Well, where they always do, by running up the national debt, number one.
But by winning what?
And then by taking the money from someplace else.
Huh?
What are the two big pots of money out there in raw numbers? Social Security and Medicaid. Well, from other programs, people rely on and have paid into. Republicans, or these guys are willing to hurt the middle class and the working class in order to deliver significant greater wealth to the already very wealthy. Who in the hell do they think they are? I really think they, I mean, just
Straight up not what's happening at all, but okay.
Decency.
Basic decency. This feels like a campaign speech. Does he know the election already happened?
I think anybody should go out. They can make it to $1 billion a year. They can, fine. Pay your fair share. You know what the average? We have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know the average federal tax they pay? 8.2%. Anybody want to trade that number? What you're paying?
Okay, that's
Close.
still more money than the rest of the country combined.
Let me close. I'm sorry to go on so long, but just anyway.
St. Floyd's, he can run again. That is true. That is in fact true. Assuming he's alive in 2028, of course,
towns, working class
which would be a
towns.
miracle, in my
Places where
opinion.
people worked hard all their lives with the promise that they'd be able to retire someday with a little bit of dignity. Because they've been paying in a thing called Social Security since the very paycheck they ever earned. These people get knocked down every day, learn to get up. My dad's one is for you get knocked down, just get up. Get up. They get up every day. The last thing they need from their government is deliberate cruelty. It's about people and neighbors across the country who look out for each other.
Oh, well, those neighbors that are keying Teslas and setting dealerships on fire. And
see empathy as a decent.
Oh, yeah, Democrats, the party of empathy and love and kindness.
As a sign of strength. Social Security is about more than retirement accounts.
More than Robocop. Is he quoting Chumbawamba again? It's tough to tell, but I think so.
It's about peace of mind for those who work their whole lives so they can rest assured they'll have a chance. They'll get back some of what they earned and what they deserve. But more than anything else, I mean,
they're trying to change the narrative. The Democrats are grasping at straws trying to get some sort of semblance of the narrative back. It's not working, of course. But they have lost total and complete control of the narrative, the political narrative in this country, and they don't know what to do. They have no clue what to do. They're trotting this old fuck out there, for Christ's sake.
Nobody's the boss. Everybody has a shot. All people asking for is a shot. Honesty.
Grammy, CNN isn't showing this, or Fox. Yeah, I don't think any major networks are showing this, are they? I didn't even know this was happening until someone asked Kaylee the question today in the press briefing.
We can't go on like this as a divided nation, as divided as we are.
This is a divided nation, divided by people dividing things.
It's never been this divided.
It's never been this divided. You know, we did fight a civil fucking war one time, you know.
30% that has no heart.
Hundreds of millions of people died or something.
In America.
Didn't a lot of fucking people die? Wasn't that our deadliest war?
And that's the America we can never forget or walk away from.
Oh, not 100 million, sorry.
Folks, I mean,
estimated 700,000 deaths.
Remember who we are. We're the United States.
Bloodiest U.S. war.
United States.
I was thinking of the flu. Yeah, the American Civil War is considered to be the bloodiest war in American history. It resulted in an estimated 620,000 deaths.
Because of
6 million, yeah, 600,000, 6 million, same thing.
We're the only nation in the world found on an ocean. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator. That's the one thing united. It's an idea. Every other nation was because of a purpose. It's an idea. And how can we fulfill the outcome, the meaning of that idea? We walk away from just basic fundamental decency. Folks, sorry to go on so long, but I feel deeply about this. You know, heard me say it before and I'll say it again. There's nothing beyond the capacity of America to do when we do it together. Let's do it together.
Snick!
God bless you all. May God protect
Welcome,
our
honorable
children.
member. Hung, hung, hung!
Thank you for what you do. And thank you for this wonderful award. Thank you.
What do they do? I thought this was a group of disabled people. Did he just thank them as if they were troops? Straight for a kid. straight for a kid. Beelined it for a child. Biden jumped off stage and beelined it for a kid. So weird. I feel like that crowd is like, what the hell was he talking about? That had nothing to do with why any of us are here. Meanwhile, in India, I think this is over now. Yeah, that's over. The Bakersfield protest stream is over. You don't know of anything happening in the world? Starbase Live, no launch today. Teen shot at Dallas ISD's Wilmer Hutchins High School.
There, my arm, I'm not injured or anything, but it almost got caught when people were trying to run, and I almost got caught through the door.
I'm glad you're okay. I know our anchor Chris has a question for you. Chris, you can go ahead and ask your question. I'll tell Aldo.
Yeah, 4chan was nuked. Is 4chan still down? Well, there's been no statement from anyone associated with 4chan,
so Chris was asking
right?
if you
As far as I'm aware.
did your friend recognize the person who was shooting the
No, I didn't ask. Like I said, it was just like in the moment I wanted to help him out as soon as I can.
It appears 4chan
I didn't
is
get
still
no description
down.
of anybody. They were saying I was in the cafeteria. They were saying it happened in B Hall, or like close to around there. But the shots sounded they were coming from that direction, B Hall. But I wasn't able to see the shooter or anything.
And B Hall is near where the cafeteria is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right outside.
And you all were in the cafeteria at the time, and then you took off running, and that's when you realized that your friend was hit.
Yes. I realized he was hurt somehow, and I just had to help him out.
What happened after you pulled his boot off and you were able to help him?
After that, I noticed there wasn't any signs of he was bleeding rapidly, so it wasn't bleeding anything. It was just like a bruise from a paintball gun, almost. That it looked like either he got shot or he hit himself and he was just confused and he didn't know. I don't know. It was a lot of emotions going through that day.
And I know you mentioned that because this happened last year and then it happened again this year, there were some things that you already knew what to do. Tell me about that.
As soon as I got outside, I was able to call my mom and tell her, hey, there's a shooting outside again. And she was like, really? There's no way. And I had to tell her, I showed her everything. I was outside. And she was like, are you gonna call your grandma to come pick you up? And I'm like, well, they're not gonna let her in from the last time. And so I told her, I just waited out to let me see what they tell me, because I already knew I was in a safe location away from everything. So I just stayed there.
And I just have one more question, because I know you're going to go back over with your family. How did you know to come this way to the elementary school?
This way, it's because it was more, it was just away from everything, all the chaos. So it was more calm. You get to relax and just breathe and think everything through.
And you guys waited inside the elementary school until you were able to be released, or?
We just ran over here.
Just ran over
Yeah.
here. Just getting away from everything. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you are okay. I'm glad your friends are okay.
Because students have been through this before.
Mm-hmm. CNN refers to AOC as President AOC, huh?
It's Donald Trump. Well, what happens the next 4 years from now when a Democrat is in office? What happens when President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez decides to use these same powers that the president has now expanded by simply just pretending not to pay attention to the rulings of the court?
I can see CNN's doing well. Mental illness runs rampant in this country.
It is true that when standards are eroded, they tend to seldom come back and be reinstated. Jennifer, let me ask you,
Cody Balmer, the guy who set Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro's residence on fire. Hang on, I want to see what she's saying.
She told me she was one of the last people to get out. There was a lot of screaming. She heard 3 bullets come from the cafeteria. As soon as they got out, they were yelling at them to keep their hands up. You know, this year it got way more strict than last year. Last year we had to wait a few hours to be able to get out. This time it was less than an hour. It got really scary for her because we thought it was just a drill. And it's really scary because this isn't the first time it happened.
Is that going to be an issue with all of these drills that they do all the time?
This is the second time.
When a real shooting happens, all the kids are going to be like, oh, it's just another stupid fucking drill.
Because security just doesn't work here.
That's going to happen.
She's okay right now. Where is she?
So they're keeping all the students at the stadium, like right over there. And I'm guessing most of them are there. I don't see a lot of them, which is really worrying. Because I know there might still be some students inside. And, you know, there's some people missing.
How did you find out that this was happening?
I didn't until she texted me. It was like half an hour ago. It wasn't on the news or anything, so I didn't believe her.
I decided to
until
keep eating.
She started sending me links to live news reports, so we rushed over here.
What did you?
We rushed over here so we could get on the live news report.
Again?
I'm really not surprised. According to her, one of the metal detectors wasn't working this morning, and that's exactly what happened last year, you know. And then the teachers are the ones that check the backpacks. They didn't check them last year, and I probably
calling that a bowl cut, Jay?
This year either.
I know that there were a lot of pushes from students and from parents to increase security here and increase communication. It sounds like some things you think may not have changed. Has anything changed in the response you've seen here since this happened last year?
A lot more police has shown up, which is a really good sign, but nothing has really changed within the actual school. My sister, she's always telling me they're not checking properly, they're not checking backpacks, so I feel like we all knew this was bound to happen again.
I know that's such a hard thing to think about, and to see this response then after this, I am so glad that your sister's okay. I know she's out here on the football field with other students right now. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. I appreciate it. This is something we're hearing from a lot of folks here on the scene, having this really horrible sense of deja vu. We were here last year, almost a year ago to the week, to the day, it was to the week that a shooting happened at this school a year ago. Now family is back here again, and you can see where we'll see students here standing up in the field. If we can zoom in, you can see they're on the bleachers there. It looks like they're starting to move, which may be some of that reunification work that we know the district is working on right now. But you can see parents and students who are here waiting, so many of them on their phones, talking to their kids who are on the inside of the school or out on this football field, waiting for that hug to be able to know that they're safe. Hearing that they're safe is one thing, seeing it and feeling it for themselves is a different thing for families. And we know there are a lot of questions that families still have for the district after this has happened once again. Back to you.
I do want to reiterate that was WFA's Cole Sullivan from a couple of hours ago, and so you were seeing there at the end of his live story, when it was live a couple of hours ago, that there were still students inside of the football stadium there waiting to reunite with their parents or their guardians or whoever was coming to pick them up. We do know officially now, word from Dallas ISD is that all of the students' reunification process is complete. All of the students have now joined back up with their families. But we are going to continue.
Okay. Anyway, the guy that said Governor Shapiro's, I guess, residence on fire, Cody Balmer, allegedly told police that if he saw Shapiro during his firebomb attack, he was going to beat him with a hammer. What is it with Democrats and hammer attacks? Was this another gay lover?
Cody, you want to do it? You got anything more to say on the way out here?
Cody, why'd you do it?
Why'd you do it? Come on. What was it about Shapiro you don't like?
You know, setting someone's residence on fire, it's really personal. It's really kind of seems like something a scorned lover would do, now that I think about it.
Governor. What do you mean you have a lot of kids? What's that mean? Cody, you want to do it?
Democrats' Yale presidential poll for 2028 has Kamala still on top, AOC second place, Buttigieg in third, and Newsom in fourth. Wow. They really just have no clue what they're doing. Are they gonna try to shove AOC on us?
Work to protect you.
I honestly, at first I thought it was a drill, but then like I realized like the shot it couldn't have just been a drill, because it was like really loud. Like it happens.
Jay Davis, don't make hammer jokes. There will be a CNN talking points for a year and a half.
Right beside the cafeteria. So.
And you heard a shot?
It was just
look up pictures of his family. He does have a lot of kids. Okay.
Everything happened so fast.
How do you feel? How are you doing?
I got really scared at the beginning, and then I cried calling my mom, because like I didn't know. I haven't really been in like a lockdown like this, so like I got scared, and yeah, that's it.
How do you feel now? You've been able to get with your stepdad and your mom. How do you feel?
This is him and his kids. What the hell? But I liked it when someone called him Rasputin. Yeah, he does have that Rasputin look. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Oh,
At Lord. the school? Yes. How did you hear about it? Was it a text message? I mean, you've heard that was on lock. Someone called me. He was outside running, and he said that gunshots was.
No face. No wonder Fortune crashed. It was a million people cross-posting this picture.
Okay. And then he went in the cafeteria. He saw two of his friends get shot. You're saying your son's two friends were shot in the cafeteria? Yes. That's what he said. And have you had a chance to talk with him? My son? Yeah, my son is over there. And how is? I'm assuming he's shocked. They shocked. They shooken up. They were. My oldest one was crying, and then my other one, he called me, and I work at the school, and I had to come race over here and see what's going on because he scared me. I was so scared. Yeah.
U.S. to consolidate military
As a
presence
parent, you're hearing
in
about
Syria.
how close these shootings are now to us. And this was like last year, the same time. Happened the same time last year. Yeah. We know about the school having metal detectors. We know that they have clear bag policies. They do. And even the badges, they have to wear the badges. But I don't see how they could have got in the building.
A protester at Marjorie Taylor Greene's town hall just got tased after fighting with police officers.
And ID and everything. So I don't know.
Stop. Are you really doing it? Stop. Are you really doing it? Really?
Thank you.
You're about to break my glasses. And then Marjorie says thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the second one. Oh! This is the one that gets tased, huh? Oh, shit! Which one fought back and got tased? Interesting.
Don't move. Stop.
This is a peaceful town hall. Now, this is a peaceful town hall, ladies and gentlemen. This should not have to happen. This is a town hall. So I'd like to start with our first video.
Interesting. Alright, so this dude gets tackled to the ground, possibly has broken glasses. I wish they'd zoomed in here. And then I guess there's a second protester that they're hauling out of here. It's this guy. Can you guys see that? Yeah. This guy. It looks like he's trying to fight them here. It's hard to see. He's pushing them off. Yep, he just smacked that officer in the face. Tase him, tase him, tase him.
Don't move. Stop.
This is a peaceful town hall. Now, this is a peaceful town hall, ladies and gentlemen. This should be
Get in the zone. Austin zone.
town hall. So I'd like to start with our first video.
Way too familiar.
The active shooter call went out just after 1 p.m. and we've had a team of reporters on scene working to get you answers.
Let's start with Cole Sullivan, who just got an update on the investigation. Cole?
Izzy, the DISD superintendent says the unthinkable has happened again here at Wilmer Hutchins. Today it began just after 1 o'clock. 4 students hurt.
They're just playing this shit on replay. Yeah, what is this? Trump says he's creating a program for illegals to self-deport and reapply for citizenship.
Deportation. As you probably know, we're doing a self-deportation. And we're going to make it comfortable for people, and we're going to work with those people to come back into our country legally.
¿Está
The good ones.
funcionando la autodeportación?
Well, we're starting it. We haven't started it right now. We're getting the murderers out. We have our can imagine, because you have some great people that came in, but we have some very bad ones. We had 11,088 murderers. Half of them killed more than one person. These are rough, bad people. We want them out, and that's mostly our focus.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is we're going to have a self-deportation program, which we haven't even announced yet. I guess I'm announcing it to you. Why
Yes.
not, Rachel? Here it is. The only thing I haven't determined is what are we going to do? We're going to give them a stipend. We're going to give them some money and a plane ticket. And then we're going to work with them. If they're good, if we want them back in, we're going to work with them to get them back in as quickly as we can.
So those protesters in Bakersfield earlier were apparently bussed in. If any of you saw the hands-off protest today in downtown Bakersfield at Liberty Bell and think all those were local residents, think again. Here is one of the buses that brought those protesters here from outside Kern County. These protests accomplished nothing, changed no one's opinion, and protesters are brought in to make it appear that there is tremendous support for the cause. Most regular folks are not willing to give up a Saturday. This wasn't this one. This is from Saturday. Yeah, because this wasn't a hands-off protest earlier. But I believe those were probably bussed in as well. If they're bussing in protesters. Okay, well this post is from today. Protesting AOC Bernie, a lot of bus in people. Some are from Bakersfield. We can see the building they're walking out of. Not one person had American flags. Some wearing masks. Some flipping us off. Can't wait to hear this on the news. Yeah.
On when and how they would be able to pick up their children. I met another mom whose oldest daughter also goes to Wilmer Hutchins High School, and that mom was so scared, man. She was shaking at the time. Well, after she picked Aaliyah up this afternoon, I got to ask her what that first embrace was.
Oh, I guess Marjorie's still talking. This is her town hall in Georgia.
Something. I do believe the more moderate Dems would fully agree with what I just wrote.
Is that why there was a protest
I would
in
hope
Georgia
so.
earlier?
Thank you for all you do, Marjorie. You are a strong and important voice for sanity. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for deporting the illegals. I lost my daughter, Peyton, Tour Forever 27 in December 2021. She was not an addict. She was a beautiful girl.
No protest in Georgia.
Who made a mistake. Our children should not die from one mistake. Thank you for slowing the flow of fentanyl into the country, Jennifer. Jennifer, I don't know if I hope you're in here, but I'm sorry for the loss of your daughter. And I think that your statement, your words right here, speak volumes. And I want to tell you that it was for moms like you, moms and dads like you, that I led the effort to impeach Secretary Mayorkas last Congress. And it's because of moms and dads like you and your precious children that should have never died from fentanyl overdoses. And like you said, they made a mistake. And President Trump is committed. He is committed. Oh, you want to know a big fight on the tariffs for Mexico and Canada? It's because he's sick and tired of our people being poisoned with fentanyl. President Trump has been very hard on Mexico and Canada both because fentanyl flows through both of those borders, and it's for families like yours. And so, Jennifer, all of us in this room, we stand with you. We share your grief, and we're so sorry. We're so sorry, but we are fixing this problem. And thank you. Thank you for your question and statement. What benefit have you brought to the farmers in your district with your support of the Trump administration's inflationary tariff-based economic policy? Nathan. Well, Nathan, I got to tell you, I talked to a lot of farmers. You know, tariffs help our farmers. You know, our farmers have a very difficult time selling the food that they produce because they can't compete with foreign countries. Foreign countries are shipping in food and meat from all over the world much cheaper than our farmers are able to produce food and sell it here in the United States. Listen, food, the fact that we can produce food is national security for our country, and President Trump's tariffs are going to make sure that we have national security for food in America. Will President Trump be dismantling the IRS? certainly hope so, Lee. That's a great question. What businesses would you like to see come to District 14, Shannon? Well, you know, as a representative, I don't pick and choose the businesses. But the businesses that I think are so important in the district are the ones that exist there. And I think as my role as your representative, the work that I do in Washington has to support your ability to run your business and grow your business. And that's what I'm committed to do. All right. That wrapped it up. This is fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for coming out tonight. And I want to thank you for your support. And I also am so excited. Thank you to the City of Ackworth. I'm thrilled to have this part in my district. We've had great meetings today and look forward to working with everyone. And also, I'll say this. I know one thing about Georgia 14. Georgia 14 is not going to be intimidated by funded Democrat protest and by people that came in that aren't from our district. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Are we going to get tased?
That's an illegal alien. So you can see Democrats support. They support illegal aliens. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Okay. Be safe going home. We ignore the noise.
Yeah, he saw that other dude get tased, and he was like, I'm going to scream and yell as I run out of here.
Okay, so...
yeah, I don't know, free somebody. Free who?
Eventful town hall there in Cobb County, Georgia.
It didn't sound like he was talking about the El Salvadorian guy.
Congresswoman there from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, amid numerous interruptions, so much so that several people were escorted out there by law enforcement officials, some even who were resisting. I believe you saw their officers deploying their tasers to render them compliant to exit the facility and the venue there. So that was quite something there. Now, what is interesting there about that town hall, you didn't see some of these constituents of Greene's get up and ask their question to the Congresswoman in a microphone in that type of setting. It seems like these questions were submitted either before the event began or during the event. And that is what you just watched, what you just listened to. She was responding and answering to those questions in real time at this kind of PowerPoint presentation beside her there in the room. So thought that was interesting. We wanted to show that to you.
Have you guys heard this story out of Tucson? Meet Daniel Michael, who's arrested in Tucson, Arizona after he allegedly struck Jacob Couch in the neck with a hatchet while he was sitting at a bus stop with his wife. Jacob and his wife, Kristen, were reportedly staying in Tucson to mourn the death of their son, who was stillborn. Jacob is now fighting for his life. Seems like these knife weapon attacks are on the rise between a certain segment of society against another segment. How much is Carmelo Anthony's Gibson Go up to now? And it looks like Carmelo Anthony and his family moved into a mansion. I think they're renting it, but... $435,000 raised. Man, stabbing Whitey is lucrative. You get paid if you stab Whitey, apparently. St. Floyd's, thank you for becoming member 12 months, hung. You said, I was wondering if you had heard about this. I know you live in the area. You hadn't even heard about it? That's how little they're talking about any of this stuff. Let's see. Let me see if I can find any more information on it. Right, I keep confusing him for the basketball player, too. Family of hatchet attack victims speaks out. Let's see.
Welcome back, everybody. A Tucson man is being held on $1 million bond in connection with a downtown hatchet attack last week. Maria Stobbs spoke to the victim's family, who shares how they're dealing with this unfortunate situation.
It was at this bus bench on Broadway and 6th where Tucson police say Jacob Couch was attacked by a man with a hatchet, and now his family is speaking out.
It was very traumatic and there was a lot of blood.
After spending around 10 months in Los Angeles, Kristen and Jacob Couch, a married couple of 11 years, were on their way back to their hometown in Alabama until the unthinkable happened.
I can't remember the last time there's just been a baseless, like a senseless crime like this.
As they were waiting for the next bus in Tucson, Kristen says an unknown man started yelling at them.
I told the man we're leaving, and my husband bent
completely
down
unprovoked.
to, I guess, like get our stuff, and he just came up behind him and just walked away.
A hit to the back of Jacob's neck with a hatchet, Kristen says, severing his artery, leaving him on life support.
It hurts knowing that I couldn't be there to protect him because he protected me for my whole life.
3 days after the attack, officers found the suspect, 25-year-old Daniel Michael. He's charged with aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument and causing serious physical injury, according to the probable cause statement. Now, both Kristen and David's younger brother Luke are hoping to bring light to who Jacob was.
He was such a sweet soul, such a good brother, such a good father, such a good husband. He didn't deserve this.
They say they hope a crime like this never happens again.
You don't go downtown at 10 a.m. with a hatchet and attack somebody, or you don't go down there with a hatchet and not go to cause trouble.
I just want people to remember how kind he was and to be rest assured that this was senseless.
I just don't want this man to walk free for something like this.
Michael has his first court hearing coming up later this month. Reporting from downtown, Maria Stobbs, KGUN 9.
Yeah, they didn't show the suspect one time, huh? No picture on the news article either. Huh. What you got here for me, Banana? Trump administration refuses to back down to Obama judge in latest court filing in the Abrego Garcia case. Judge orders intense 2-week inquiry. Blaine made it to the park. Blaine made it to the park over in Bakersfield. This is the video that he took of the revolution.
So it looks like those buses full of people were legit, because once their shift was over and they all went home, the actual real protesters moved to the new place, and there they all are. Not even enough to fill one bus. Not even one bus full of people. So they're the real protesters, the ones that weren't smart enough to figure out how to get paid by the union they work for to be professional, useless people. So it looks like those buses full of people.
All right. Intense 2-week inquiry. Trump administration refused to back down to the judge in the case of the deported MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Garcia is an El Salvadorian national who was illegally residing in Maryland. In 2019, an immigration judge ordered Garcia, an alleged member of MS-13, removed from the U.S. Trump's DHS made it clear to Judge Zenas, got your Zenas right here, on Tuesday, if Garcia arrives on U.S. soil, he will be deported to El Salvador again. Who's going to break him out of El Salvadorian prison? Friday, Judge Paula Zenas, an Obama appointee, demanded the Trump administration provide daily updates on Garcia's whereabouts after the Supreme Court ruled the government should facilitate his release. How can the government facilitate his release? I think his wife is... I saw something about his wife. Hang on, there it is earlier. I will not stop fighting till I see my husband alive. Anyway. Judge said Trump admin has made no meaningful effort to comply. Once again, what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Trump admin won't comply with the order demanding the physical location and custodial status of Garcia. Trump DOJ is currently arguing the meaning of facilitate as it relates to immigration cases in response to the Supreme Court order. Yeah, what do you mean by facilitate? I mean, that can mean a lot of things. Like, we are facilitating it. We're facilitating his amazing time on vacation in El Salvador. Tuesday, attorneys for Garcia demanded the Trump administration comply with the Supreme Court order and release the gang member. Democrats going to bat for criminals is like... nothing riles them up more than trying to go to bat for criminals. I mean, look what they did for George Floyd. Now this, not a peep out of any of these people when an illegal alien rapes, murders, kills anyone in the United States. No. Laken Riley? Nah, not a peep. How dare you send a gang member back to his home country? Nothing riles them up more than anything than a criminal being treated like a criminal. Attorneys say there's no evidence that anyone has requested the release of Garcia. Justice Department hit back and said the U.S. will deport Garcia back to El Salvador if he makes his way to a U.S. port of entry. Good. During a hearing on Tuesday, Judge Zenas said to buckle up for 2 weeks of intensive discovery. What is there to discover? We're going to discover that he's still out of the country. We're going to do this by federal rules of civil procedure, so no press release is going to move the court the same way that sworn under oath testimony from persons with knowledge. If you have objections, you're going to have to make them consistent with the rules. Turkash, that dude is dead. That's why they don't want to send him back? Maybe. Maybe that's why his wife is asking for proof of life here.
Today is 34 days after his disappearance. And I stand before you filled with spirit that refuses to bring down. I will not stop fighting until I see my husband alive. Kilmar, if you can hear me, stay strong. God hasn't forgotten about you. Our children are asking, when would you come home? And I pray for the day I tell them the time and date that you'll return. Today is...
He ain't returning, sweetheart. Garuda, why is she still here? Stop separating families. Yeah. Maybe she should go visit him in prison. In El Salvador. What else is going on? Is this an... that's from earlier, not an update on the shooting. Marjorie Taylor Greene interview after her town hall.
But I will tell you guys, and this is a story.
Increased police presence. Does that leave you deterred at all when you know that there are people who are out?
Republican Congresswoman from Georgia. She just wrapped up a town hall with constituents in her district. She's now taking questions from reporters live. Let's listen to a bit of this.
Especially from some of the people who came here to support you and wanted to hear your message.
My reaction is it shouldn't be that way. America overwhelmingly voted in November for President Trump, Republican control of the House and the Senate, and how people should handle their businesses in the voting booth. There's no reason for screaming, yelling, ridiculous, outrageous protesting. That disrupts the entire event for every single person that is there. And, you know, one of the most important things I do is offer constituent services. And that was exactly what I wanted to be able to promote and talk about tonight.
From a safety standpoint, you even mentioned the fact that you had to keep this place secret for a little bit. The idea that there are so many people who had to have this increased police presence, does that leave you deterred at all when you know that there are people who are out there with all these thoughts about what they would want to do in one of these rallies?
No, you know, I don't like that. But no, I'm not deterred. My job is a representative of the people that voted, my district. And I have to represent the entire district. And that means I have a job to do. And that job is extremely important. No, I'm not deterred. But I will tell you guys, and this is a story that I think is extremely important, I have the most death threats in Congress. And at times, I have more death threats than even Speaker Johnson. And it shouldn't be that way. And we just saw Governor Shapiro's mansion attacked with arson. It shouldn't be this way for any elected leader, no matter what political party they represent.
Ma'am, can we get your response to, there's been a lot of coverage on stocks buys that you made in the days before and the day of the announcement that these tariffs were being paused. Was there anything that you knew ahead of time, or can you at least respond to the criticism that's been published?
You know, I think that criticism
it's been
is
an average hongening
President
so far.
Trump has been talking about tariffs for decades. President Trump announced April 2nd is when he was putting tariffs in place. I have a fiduciary agreement with my portfolio manager. I don't place my buys and sells. That's something that the portfolio manager does for me, and he did a great job. Guess what he did? He bought the dip, and that's what anybody that has any financial sense does when they know the market's going to be going down. That was obvious to everyone, and President Trump had announced tariffs long before. That wasn't anything, that wasn't a secret. Big public information.
Congresswoman Green, do you think it was a proportionate response to have police tase somebody who was just booing at you from the crowd? They weren't approaching you, they weren't anywhere near you.
He punched several officers.
Yeah, like I said before, this isn't a political rally or a protest. I held a town hall tonight. You know who was out of line? The protesters. There was a place designated outside for the protesters because we support their First Amendment right. So you know who was out of line? The protesters. The police did a great job. I'm very thankful for them.
There was a moment when you answered a question about how Americans are going to have to sort of tighten their belts and kind of work through the issues that are being caused by the tumult in the economy. Is it fair to say that those issues sort of cross party lines and that maybe some of the concern about it is real?
I hope the concern is real, and actually Americans have been tightening their belts for years. And the past 4 years just hit a height that we hadn't seen. Inflation at the highest rates that we had not seen for 40 years. And yes, I think this is something the American people understand better than Washington, D.C. I'm just hoping that all of us can get it right in our job in Congress.
You paused tonight when you read that question from the parent. You talked about fentanyl. Reading that, what was your overall reaction? You can tell it touched you, but can you just speak about that when you meet people who have those sort of stories?
Yeah, that question was something else. It was heartbreaking, and it shook me from the inside. I'm a mother. I have 3 children. I mean, all of us that are parents can't imagine being in that woman's position. But it's a story that's been told over and over. And I serve on the Homeland Security Committee, And to me, this isn't a political party issue. It's an American issue. We have a drug crisis in this country. And it's got to be something that all of us care about together. And the drug crisis has come across the border by cartels. And that woman, you know, I was hoping she was sitting there. I don't know if she showed up or not, but I just wanted to hug her because I've heard it too many times. And we just pray it stops. We pray that border security will stop it.
So, all right, Congresswoman there, Marjorie Taylor Greene, taking questions from reporters. We're going to step away from this. We do have some.
So expensive. In my house, we're going to limit the
prices.
eggs. I mean, like, really limit them.
You have to do that. You have to buy plastic eggs, which doesn't have any yolk or anything inside
not the egg prices.
Just the candy, which is not really good for the kids.
Before the bird flu outbreak, there were about 315 million hens laying eggs. As of March, only about 285 million.
We've been going to like different stores just to try to not only find the best price for eggs, but just to find them in general.
Settle down,
egg
Chad.
prices
Settle
have
down.
dropped according to the USDA, but Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins.
For those of you who missed Biden earlier, here's some highlights.
I remember pulling into the parking lot, and I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. They never turned right to go to Claymont High School. I wondered why. Asked my mom, why? So in Delaware, they're not allowed to go to school, in public school, with white kids, honey. That sparked my sense of outrage as a kid, just like it does. I mean, these young kids.
He was outraged at the colored kids?
Right here can tell you things affect them when they learn about something that's really just unfair and unjust. You know, my dad was an honorable man. And my dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, your job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's what you're all about. That's what the legislation's about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity.
Oh.
Everyone.
And he gets angry.
Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. Regardless of their standing, regardless of economic situation.
Except for those dirty Trumpers.
Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. That's what it's about. I mean it. Dignity at work, at school.
Joe's yelling at me again.
School, in their communities, in every corner
White
of American
man abuse,
life.
right, Kimba?
Laws like the ADA need advocates like you. You're the ones that keep it going. God love you. You fight like hell.
God love you.
To make sure the laws are
God love you.
And your client.
Biden wants to meet the 300-year-old folks that get Social Security.
By the way, those 300-year-old folk getting that Social Security, I want to meet them because I like to figure out how they live that. Hell of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity because it's hell when you turn 40 years old.
I mean, is he making fun of the fact that Social Security has been paying people who are allegedly 300 years old, 600 years old in some cases?
But as a result...
He wants to meet him? You have met him, Joe. Right, Kimba? He is the same age. Yeah, you went to grade school with him. You don't remember? Oh, of course. Tariffs.
I remember pulling into the parking lot, and I had never.
We will not be touching Social Security.
Looking at reforming programs to make them more affordable and also at the same time more sustainable for American people. Programs like Medicaid, for example.
This week, Congress remains on its Easter break, but nationwide Democrats are launching a Social Security Day of Action. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer even calling on the Trump administration's acting Social Security administrator to resign.
He is incapable of doing the job. In fact, he's a danger to all of the senior citizens.
Republicans are working through the recess, too, urging voters to support their efforts to renew President Trump's 2017 tax cuts, set to expire at the end of this year. Otherwise, they argue millions of Americans will face tax hikes.
We've got to get the renewal.
Wait, what? Shooting suspect at the Texas school identified has not been arrested. Authorities are still on the hunt in Dallas.
We had 4 students injured today and were transported to area hospitals. The suspect has not been arrested, but we have identified the suspect, and as I mentioned, we have many of our law enforcement partners helping us, and we are working on locating and arresting the suspect at this time.
Are we going to get,
we had 4
gonna get a
students
description?
today.
Any sort of description? What if I was in Dallas and needed to be on the lookout for a dangerous individual with a gun? Spanish Trump unlocked. What?
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say "Let's make America great again" in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach.
Okay. All right. What else we got going on?
Important story to tell. Let's take a quick commercial break, though. When we come...
Commercial break. For a minute there, we had some shit actually going on. Felt like good times for a minute. We had a shooting, we had a protest, we had a Bernie speech, a Biden speech. We had some protesters at the MTG rally. Someone got fucking tased. It was awesome. Oh, here's the arraignment of the guy who hatcheted the white man in Tucson.
Police arrested Daniel Michael 3 days later. According to court documents, Jake and his wife were traveling by bus back home to Alabama after a trip to California. The couple were sitting at this bus bench on 6th Avenue and Broadway when surveillance footage captured Michael and Jake exchanging unknown words. Then Michael could be seen hitting Jake in the back of the neck with a hatchet, then casually walking away from the scene.
And it's just senseless. No reason. He would literally give you the shirt off his back if you needed it, and I really do mean that in a literal sense. He had the greatest heart.
Investigators report recovering the hatchet from Michael's home and say he confessed.
I'm going to...
God, he didn't even get rid of the hatchet?
Both upon $1 million cash.
Luke says he will make sure his brother gets...
When's this guy going to get a $1 million GoFundMe?
It's justice.
It's not fair, and I won't stop. I'll come down here to Tucson, and I will make sure and do everything in my ability to make sure this never happens to anyone else again, and to make sure that this man gets justice for what he did.
Police arrested Daniel Michael.
I think you've seen all of this. What? Lil Nas X reveals he's lost control of the right side of his face. Ooh. Really?
And when I smile, this is me doing a full smile right now, by the way. It's like, what the fuck? Bro, I can't even laugh right, bro. What the fuck? Oh my God. So...
Make sure you're up to date on your boosters.
Oh my God, bro. So, yeah. And when I smile,
McWork Studios, no refunds. Gayle King is so proud of herself for going to space. Going to space.
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me because I never in a gazillion years thought I could do this. And I just saw a video of us walking up the, I don't want to call it plank, but what's the proper
platform?
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me because
I'm so proud of me. I'm so awesome. Wow, I did it. I did all of that. All by myself. Do they keep calling themselves astronauts? Yeah. Well, that's actually quite hilarious because we call them astronauts too. This is alleged footage of Katy Perry floating in space.
Hey, Flynn up there. Flynn, I got you. I got you, Flynn. Oh, the moon. You guys, I don't have to tell you. Look at the moon. Look. Okay. Look at the moon. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's amazing. Oh my God. Hey, Flynn up there. Flynn, I got you. I got you.
Oh, did you guys see this? Oh, wait, though. This isn't... This isn't the one I'm looking at. Earlier, the door was already open. And then Jeff Bezos comes and opens the door with a tool. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, so this was 3 minutes before Bezos opened the door.
What's going to come out of her mouth?
See,
really
the
her
door
heart?
opens there. Looks like a bit of a flimsy door, by the way.
Jeff Bezos out there right by the cat.
And then he's got this tool in his hand, which is supposedly what opens the door. So this was minutes before. Austin types like an angry HR lady. It's very
Jeff
true.
Bezos out there right by the capsule, kind of hard to see. That is correct. That is Jeff Bezos, our founder, on the left, as well as Sarah Knights, our crew member 7.
Yeah, so then a few minutes later, Bezos opens the door. Where was that? Yeah. So you guys saw the door was already open. And then I guess they closed it because they weren't supposed to open it Because Bezos has to open it with a special fucking tool. That tool didn't do shit. All he did was barely touch the door with the tool and it pops open. Jay, same production company that filmed all of Kamala's phone calls.
It's your baby.
Out of your head. I hope they had a tampon dispenser in there.
Where I have to go there. Okay.
What do you think this is, a middle school boys bathroom in Minnesota or something? There's no tampons in there. Anyway, I don't know if that means it's fake or if they just wanted to do, you know, some really cool production stuff that would make zero sense. I don't know. What kind of accent is AOC trying to do here?
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud, liable for sexual abuse. Of course,
Yeah, this
he's
is a new one.
lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too.
John should have left him up there like they did with the NASA people, right? I know you really only wanted to be up there for, you know, whatever it was, 20 minutes. How about 8 months? Fight oligarchy.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty.
Interstitialists, they stole that door off an RV. I think so. And then they just glued it on there or something. Duct taped it on. I don't know. Yeah. Teddy bear. Ay, caramba. Well, I know as soon as I get off, there'll be like a 2-hour-long awesome police chase or something. So maybe I should just go ahead and do it. I should just rip the Band-Aid off, and then you guys can watch a 3-hour awesome police chase. Literally nothing happening anywhere in the world. Everything is fake and boring and homosexual. Bezos falling. Did Bezos fall?
Yeah. We love being able to share this experience with you, and thank you for sharing how you feel out here with our audience. So it's been really, really incredible. So yeah.
Look at the billionaire fall and trip and fall.
Pop star Katy Perry and 5 other trailblazing women soared into the sky Monday aboard a Blue Origin rocket.
Yes, AH. Hong and Hong scribe, everybody. We'll see you next time. This was fun. We should do this again or something. Have a great evening. Hong you later. Bye-bye.